Welcome to episode 6 of Big Red's Kitchen. We made it through episode 5. That was a weird one. But now we have little Finley here to welcome for episode 6. My beautiful fiance and I were able to rescue Finley from a reserve up in the north. And we just want to thank Prairie Sky Dog Rescue for trusting us enough to give this little guy a home. I'm sure you'll be watching him grow over the next couple episodes. He is adorable, and we love him very much. So I'm going to let him play now. All right, so what are we doing this week? Well, we're embarking on a new diet. The last one didn't work. Apparently there's not enough rich people around. So what we've decided is that we're going to give the whole keto thing a little bit of a stab. And we're going to visit one of our favorite nights here in the Harris household, Happy Night. Appetizers, it's so good because you get a smorgasbord of everything. You can have all these different flavors, small little bites of everything. It's honestly, if you can find a fault in it, you tell me, because I can't. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to kind of explore a couple different things. We're going to do some tuna, pan-seared. We're going to do some stuffed mushrooms. We're going to do some deep fried halloumi, and also we're going to pan sear some scallops. Of course, keto, not big on the carbs, but you cannot get me away from my favorite carb. I actually, in all the hecticness of starting this meal plan for the next week and everything like that, forgot to do my beer run. So I was able to actually use a really cool app that you guys should check out. It's called Bruiser, and you should use that, deliver, and I got exactly what I needed for the night, and that was for me. A little can of the Marzen. Love this stuff. All right, so let's talk ingredients. So first dish that we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about the yellowfin steak. So what I've done is I bought it was really one nice little piece of yellowfin tuna steak, and I marinated it. Okay, so this has been marinating for 24 hours or so, and I'll kind of go over the ingredients. It's really simple. You've got 2 tablespoons soy sauce, 1 tablespoon sesame seed oil, about a tablespoon of honey. I know that's not totally keto, but this was last night, so I wasn't on the diet yet. And then actually I spiced it, so you can actually usually, I would use cayenne pepper. Didn't have any, so instead I used a Portuguese spice called piri piri instead, and trust me, it's gonna be good. And then you just finish it off with a tablespoon of oil, and that's it. Let it soak and turn it around a couple times. It smells unbelievable. That I am looking forward to. Then I've got some cremini mushrooms. Cremini mushrooms, we're gonna scoop those out, fill those with pork sausage that we're gonna make ourselves. Then deep fried halloumi. Halloumi is amazing. When we cook this and prepare it in this way, it's just like matzo sticks, except for a million times better. You pair it with a nice marinara and you're off to the races. It's a home run. We also have some beautiful scallops, and I'll show those to you in a bit. And we're gonna pan sear those. And so I guess for the sausage, we'll just go over the ingredients that I'm going to use for that. We've got garlic minced, of course, you know me by now. We've got Italian seasoning, red chili flakes, and Parmesan cheese. Of course, we've always got handy butter standing by. And that's about it. So we're going to get some pans hot, and we're going to get at it in just a couple minutes. Finley's done with production. But he sure is gonna beg for the food later. I moved on to beer 2 here because we're at the stove. Gotta get those carbs in while you can. Ah, delicious. All right, so I'm gonna use a little EVOO in the pan. And, oh, I guess we gotta turn that on. We're gonna go pretty hot, about 3/4 of the way. Now, my sausage meat. Now the reason we do the sausage meat like this is we buy it in bulk and then we make it in these little parcels and put it in the freezer. It just saves space. Smart tip. Write that one down. And we're gonna use all of it. If there's some left, best thing about it is that this filling is unbelievably delicious, and you can just put it in a bowl. And if there's a fiance sitting around that's getting mad because food isn't ready at 6:30, you can just give them that bowl and they're usually pretty happy for about 5 minutes. All right, so we've got this pork going, and of course you want to break that up as much as possible. And it's better once it cooks down a little bit too. Oh, by the way, if you see my attire tonight, it's pretty good. I enjoy it too. I actually, I commissioned my future brother-in-law to make this for me. If you guys are interested in shirts, you guys leave me a DM and we'll figure something out. I'm sure I can get you guys a family rate. It's all airbrushed, all perfectly done, and he'll do whatever you guys want. He didn't want to do this. I think the quote was, I don't know, Red, kind of like the rich, but that aside, he'll do it. Anyway, so we've got some pork sausage going here. Now what we want to do is, we do want it to cook down, but we might as well incorporate some flavor into this right now. So garlic, Italian seasoning, red chili flake, and we're gonna put this Parmesan cheese to the side here because we won't put that on right at the end here. And as I'm doing this, aside from the smell, which is amazing, I realized that I forgot an ingredient. A pretty important one. Cream cheese in here as well. That'll come in a second here. Well, we need to cook this down first, then we'll add it. So, cream cheese appears. That's what happens when you have a great production assistant. We're gonna turn down the heat to about 1/4, or what they would call medium low. We're taking about half, and we're just gonna put that in there. All right, well, we're gonna let this chill for a bit. We're going to let this cook, and we're gonna work on the next element as well, because we gotta serve this all at the same time. And yeah, so we'll see you over there. All right, so in that couple seconds that we were gone, I realized I didn't actually put enough cream cheese in there. Half isn't gonna do it. Put the whole thing in. We're only filling 10 mushrooms here, so we're not going to use all of that, but I used a full pound of pork, so the ratio just wasn't there, so I had to adjust. But that just means bigger bowl for the fiance, and that means more time to cook. So this is all good things. So now we're going to go into a couple other things here, and first of all, we're going to keep going with the mushroom, because this is going to be the one that actually takes cook time. while the other dishes are very quickly prepared. So essentially what we're doing is we've got these beautiful cremini or labella, or I don't know, they're named a lot of different things, but and it's a simple trick. Just take your thumb and you just pop that thing, take it out. There we go. And we're just gonna do that for all the mushrooms. A lot of people take the white frills out as well. The reason I'm saving all this stuff too, it's great for if you're going to do sauces or anything like that. You stick these in the freezer and you can incorporate them into dishes at a later date. When you're cooking scallops, it's very important that they are dry, especially if you're going to be searing them. So what we do is I set them up, just double up some kitchen paper like that. And, you know, once they're defrosted, unfortunately, it's really tough to find, you know, fresh scallops. But so these ones have been frozen, but there's nothing wrong with that at all. You just, you know, unthaw them, and then you need to just make sure that you're salting them. That helps with drawing not only the moisture out, but it also gives them a nice flavor, and they do need a little salt. So we just go over them like that, and pretty liberal there. And so just flip them over, and we hit them again. That's it. That's all we need for the scallops. So those can go back there. Give them a nice little press. Next thing, halloumi. That works. Wrong knife for this application. And so we are just going to cut it in half like this. Now, halloumi is flaky, so pieces will fall off. That's okay. It's a folded cheese. So essentially what they do is they fold it in cheesecloth, and that's what forms it over time, over the process. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 8 nice pieces, and we've already treated our tuna. I think we're ready to do some more cooking. We'll be back. I'm out here for a little production break. Lighting's pretty bad, but you want to know why? I know my food's pretty good. Oh yeah. All right, so now we gotta stuff these mushroom caps. So I'm just gonna make a little room here. And so, and it really is that simple. You just want to stuff it in there. And much like smuggling drugs, you want to stuff that cavity as much as possible. Get as much in there as possible. All right, so I think you get the idea. We're good on this part. So we're going to do that for all the mushrooms. And then make the little bowl for the fiance. We'll be back. Oven's ready at 375. We've got our beautifully stuffed mushroom caps, and those are going into the bits. All right, now let's get some pans hot. Why don't we start with the scallops? Now, I prefer a cast iron. when doing scallops. And we're gonna pretty much get this up to the most scorching temperature we possibly can. We're gonna throw some oil in there. But we're also going to add a little bit of butter. Not much, but a little bit. All right, now we're gonna let this get all hot and bothered. Time for a beverage. Now we want this screaming hot. Okay, so we have, this pan is smoking hot, as you can see. And so what we're gonna do is we are dropping our scallops in there. And we want to do this as quickly as possible. And it doesn't take long, folks. It really doesn't. These scallops are going to be perfect, I promise you. And we really want them to get a little bit of char on the outside. And we don't want to cook them too long. And we're done. Scallops are a very easy thing to cook. So we've got that sear on there. And now, I'm just gonna take a little Parmesan and let that crust on top. So the thing about a scallop is you want it to have this nice caramelization on it. And you see you don't want any translucency in it. You want it to be white all the way through. It does not take a long time to do that. And it's good. Now we're working with tuna. And I'm just gonna go that around a little bit there. Maybe a little too screaming white hot. And so these are beautiful little steaks, but they gotta sear hard. We're gonna save this. Oh. The smell is unbelievable. And that piri sauce, just the exact little bit of kick that you need. And this is tuna. Tuna's fine raw. So we're just kissing it with the flame. Sushi grade. So we're good. And give this a second. Flip it one more quick time. We are good. Except for the halloumi, we're now ready. And the halloumi takes even less time. So it's the best thing about these appies. So we're gonna work on this and we'll be back with the deep fryer. I will say that this is a bittersweet moment. This is the day that we're replacing dear old Bessie with the Ninja air fryer. See how that goes. we'll visit that in a future Big Red's Kitchen episode. But as I said, bittersweet. We'll be back with halloumi. All right, now for the last preparation of the evening, we're talking halloumi. Again, I think I've said this a million times. I'm gonna say it again if you haven't tried halloumi this way or haven't tried halloumi at all. This is the way to do it. We've got our oil at about 350, 360. What we want to do is I'm actually going to keep the basket in there. And the reason for that is because I don't want the halloumi to stick to the bottom. And we're literally just dropping it in there. And she's a bubbling. And we're done. We'll escape the little piece here. Good night, deep fryer of my dreams. You are dead to me now. Now, see what I mean? We've got this beautiful exterior, and then when we go into it, beautiful little cheesy inside. Marinara sauce, you're in business. All right, now let's plate. Delicious. All right, so now ready for plating. Now, usually I don't really put that much into plating. I do enjoy it, but not that much. Appetite, different, however, because I've got these wonderful boards that Rochelle's father actually built for her a while ago, and I love them. I use them whenever I possibly can. And so we've got these boards. Now, the first thing that we're going to plate is going to be the halloumi. And I'm just going to put those down and kind of making this like a pile of fries, right? Very nice. And we're gonna add, now this is just marinara sauce. It's actually Black Label PC. It's one of my favorites. Also really in tune with the keto thing. It's got not very much sugar in it, so therefore it fits to the diet that we're exploring currently. So we're going to pair that with our mushrooms, and they turned out wonderfully. Little bit of caramelization on the top there. These are fire, by the way. Like, every single person I've ever fed these, they say, oh my God, I've never had a mushroom cap like this. And it's very, very simple. And maybe just a little Parmesan on top there. Beautiful. Now, that goes aside. Because now, scallops. Well, we're actually going to add those to that plate as well. But we've seen these before. Remember episode 2? It was Coquille Saint-Jacques. And we're just placing these in there. And it's just a nice little presentation. And again, just a little Parmesan on top. Beautiful nuggets of the sea. A little on top. And we'll bring our plate back in. And what is better than accenting it with a little seashell? Beautiful. Now, we have another thing that we're doing as well. That's the tuna. Got another handy board here. Oh my goodness, Finley. He's having a good time. Now, because this is a little bit of an Asian influence, we're going to add an Asian touch to it. And we do have some beautiful sauce left over that we're going to put in there. And again, this is sushi grade, so there is a little bit of residual from the fish, but it will not harm you at all. Now, I hope this is in frame. So we're just gonna cut this a little bit. I might have let this cool too much, so don't make the same mistake I did. But it's still gonna taste beautiful. And I'm gonna treat that with just a little bit of sesame. And voila, a beautiful night in the Harris household. Some appies that everyone will enjoy. Thank you so much. Join us for episode, I guess it's 7 now, next week.